Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. These smell so wonderful. They're smaller than the regular lilacs, but they smell great. It's April the 5th, and here sit my little plants that I did not get planted for doing all those little piddly things in the garden. They always take longer than I expect them to. And they just keep happening because, you know, we get a little wind, we get a rain, we get something that, of course, rain is almost always a good thing, but anyway, things just cause dilapidation, breaks, just different things that have to continuously be checked on and redone. This little angel had lost her wings, but now she's able to fly again. And this little angel, her butterfly had fallen off, so now she's holding it and able to sit there and look at it again and not be bored. I filled this little one up with, let me turn her around, with some sedum. I took out the overhang of this perennial dianthus and I put it over here and around the picnic table and on this side where that rodent had taken it out. And then I actually had time to sprinkle it down, not really good, but at least enough to get it, hopefully get it going. And we're still expecting those rains next week, so hopefully this will be a good timing to get this in and get it going. I think I may have already told you that I did this part of it of putting the geraniums here and the summer allium. I divided them a little bit and put those in other places. I also have some Monarda or bee balm. This is the Jacob's Klein. It's very pretty. It always reminds me of a carnation, a big fluffy carnation with a spiked hairdo. So, but I had it growing out farther than I wanted it, so because it was fixing to get in my path, and so I put some little pieces of it back in these areas where it had gone bare. And I put a little sprig of it right back here, and if this does well in these little pots, this will probably proliferate and fill the pot up. But I hope it gets to keep that little sedum there too. I also put some in this little pot in the back, and then put some of the smaller sedum right here in front. I even took the time to put some water in my little water garden, which was needing it. And I put some of that smaller sedum in this little pot and left the one that was hanging down in the front of it. I didn't get around to planting any of my seed, and I think I want some of that, the seed for the phlox. It's not an actual tall phlox, but it's not the creeping phlox either, so I'm thinking that will look good here, but I'm not sure if it gets enough sun, so I may just put a few here and some in a more sunnier spot. This little calibrachoa is doing great, but this one's not doing good at all. I did go ahead and clip it off. Sometimes they come back when you do that, but they don't always come back for me. And then this is a little, let me see if I can get some of the dirt off of it where I've watered it and it splashed up on it. But this is actually a miniature hosta. It looks so cute here in front of this little angel. And I put a little sprig of the blue spruce sedum in the front of this pot where there was a bare spot. This little pot held one of those drinking gourd hostas. I thought it was really pretty, but it was just right under the eave of the house and I didn't notice it, and we had enough rains that it rotted it out. And I would like to have another one of those, but probably not in this spot. I also noticed that this bridal spirea is beginning to open up its pretty white blooms. Spring is hurrying on, but it's not gone yet. I divided one of my hostas from the front, which was already small, but I don't want to miss out an opportunity of getting it started in two different places. I think this is called Francie. I'm not positive, but it's just such a beautiful little blend of green shades. I love it. I did go ahead and add more little sedum clippings to this pot, which I think will improve the look of it too. And what in the world else did I do? I stayed out here till dark and I just went in for a little while for lunch. But here's one thing. This little vine was just all over the place, so I put twine around it and kind of reined it in a bit. And the same for this little clematis over here. It was laid down on the ground actually, so but it was tall enough that it wanted to go up this little trellis gazebo, and you can tell the one on the other side is up there. It's much thinner, but it's tall and looking great, and this one hopefully it will too take off from there and go, and it just looks much better anyway, even down here at the bottom part of it. And I love this one when it blooms. It's a very dark color, and I think it might be called gypsy, but I'm not sure. But it's so pretty. I love it. I clipped out some of the sedum in this little pot and put it in one of my front pots. I didn't do this yesterday, but I don't remember if I showed you that I did put some of the blue spruce sedum in this little lamb. I took a clipping of this little plant and moved it over here, and I know it looks all wilty and it may not make it, but I'm going to assume it will. But actually I am going to get some water right now. I keep a watering can out here for little emergencies like this, and I will give it a drink. I know I showed you this yesterday, but it just looks even more beautiful today. Opened up even more. I tied this little vine up around this pot and angled it over toward the actual trellis where I really wanted it to grow, but some of it's growing there, and hopefully the rest of this will get the idea and follow suit. But I have learned that all those little piddly things make a big difference in the garden too. They may seem small, but they end up being part of the total picture that really does just help out, and it makes me feel better as a gardener knowing that I've taken care of things. And I love this little smoke bush. I don't know if I can get it in here. Yeah, I think there it's coming in to show you just how pretty it is. And last night when the sun was shining on it, it just really lit it up. I tried to get a picture, but I got more of the little rainbow ray effect than I did the picture of the smoke bush. But it's very lovely. I used to think I didn't want one because sometimes I don't like the way that smoke looks, and mine has not even ever done that yet, but I hope I like it when it does. But I love the foliage of it. So pretty. I forgot to show you this pretty little apricot tulip. It may not have been open yesterday morning, but I noticed it in the evening when I was watering how pretty it is. And I took the trellis that was in this little pot out and I put it in front of this and actually kind of anchored that in with a rebar just a little bit better. And I'm going to go around to the front side of it. So I'm going to try these again today, and I know all that I showed you did not seem like a day's work, but it definitely was. And then I went inside and worked on the pictures that I put on Facebook and Instagram. If you haven't looked at those, you might want to look at those. I put one on each day, and I think God has given me some lovely garden pictures. But of course, it never hurts to find out that you're feeling the same way. The Bible says, as iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. And I want to take this time to thank you for all the comments, shares, and support you've given me. Look at this, one of the little seedlings that I started in the house. This is a castor bean, but it sprouted. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this out in the garden and see how it will fare. And I know I need to get my scarlet runner beans started like this and get them a chance to be out there when we get our April showers. Today is April the 7th. And yesterday we had another really windy day. And I was so tired that I thought, in order to make it to church, I better rest from the garden today. So I went shopping. I was just going to look, but when you find those things you want in the garden, and there they are, it's just the best thing to go ahead and get them if it's not still frost and chances of freeze outside. And I think our chances for freeze are, well, I want to say gone. I do think they are, but you never can tell about Oklahoma, but hopefully they are. And I'm going to go ahead. I went to several different nurseries, purchased several things that I know I'll always want. There's dianthus and verbena and impatiens. I even found these little polka dot plants, and I even found some double petunias. I found this beautiful concoleus and some little coleus that I think will be pretty for like trailing or the shorter type ones. And then I have enough, I think, of the lipstick pink to fill up a strawberry pot. And oh, look at this hens and chicken. I already told you I'm not good with them, but this was so pretty. I just couldn't pass it up, especially when I know I have bare spots in my little pot there. So I'll see what I'll try to do with that. Even found some diamond frost euphorbia. I love that. And this little petunia, I never can get it to last very long, but oh, that color just draws me in every time. And I found some of the pretty little bacopa plant, which I love, and I'm not very good at doing it either. I think, yes, I did. Even got a white one also. But if they can ever get a good spot to go and can be moist enough without holding the moisture, it's got to drain well and yet still be moist, and that's kind of a hard combination to get. But I found a penta, several pentas. This is the color I picked, and a Decandra, one for me and one for my friend Susie, unless we get a chance to which we're still hoping to get to go shopping together for plants. But just in case they don't have any, then she'll for sure have one. And of course this little mint licorice, I love it, as well as the regular kind of powder blue one there. I love it too. So these are bee plants that I know I want in the garden. I even purchased a tomato, which you know I never have got them to actually grow and produce, but I feel like, well, you just can't stop trying. So one day, you know, maybe we will. One day maybe this whole channel will take off and go like crazy. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Help me make it happen. We started our search at Janie's, our local Janie's, which I love. She's such a sweet lady, has beautiful, beautiful flowers and plants, and has them arranged so prettily. And we started there, and I decided, well, maybe we should go on over to Horse Creek. And so we went there, and then I said, well, I still didn't find a dragon wing begonia, but I decided, well, let's go on over to Atwood's, and so we did that, and then we also checked in Sutherland. So we made the rounds pretty well, and it was pretty much fun, even though I really was too tired to do that. But I thought, well, my husband is on call for jury duty, and I want him to be with me when I do my shopping, and so I decided I better do it now, and I can rest later. You know, I'll do that tomorrow. And we know tomorrow never comes, but time does keep marching on. And the bud trees are beginning to lose their little purple blooms, and certainly the winds we had yesterday didn't help. It helped them to lose them, but not to hold on to them. So they will all be gone soon and replaced by pretty green leaves. And the lilac bush is certainly filling out more and looking great. And that's where I had my husband take my picture for this post, but the lighting was not good, so it's not a very good picture, but it'll work. And spring has moved on to the point that this little spirea is really budding out now. It's just too bad they don't last longer in these beautiful colors, but I'm sure God has a purpose for it to be the way it is, so we just have to enjoy it while it's there, take pictures to last longer, and then move right along with it. The iris are blooming, and won't, just a minute, let me go across over here and get my shadow in there, but won't this be pretty when it blooms, all these pretty buds. And just a little farther down here, I see there are more irises just almost in bloom. And this little pot is still doing good. It seems to be putting its little root down, and hopefully it won't be long to where it will be shining and filling this pot out also. I put some Japanese iris in this little pot, and I tried to make it like a bog garden, so I don't know if it's holding its moisture. It shouldn't be draining very readily because it does have some plastic lining around it. It does have holes, but just smaller holes so that it seeps through it, hopefully at a slower pace. And I haven't even made a determination what I'm going to put in this top part yet, but we'll get there, Lord willing. And my pretty little clematis, it took that wind for so long, and then I think it just decided, well, if that's how the world is going to treat me, I'm out of here. But luckily, these were a little bit more protected from the wind, and they made a different decision, and they're still shining for us to enjoy today. And I'm noticing it got part of my little tulip too. I started changing this little pot out. I put the other stuff in this pot and started to hang it up there, and it just pulled this little one right down, and I thought that is not good. So even though it is still leaning back down a little bit. It's not so much as it was, and I put this much lighter one on here and just put some little sedum in it, in this pot. And I'll find another spot for this little container. Today is April the 8th, and I think I may start on this little strawberry pot and fill it up at some point today. Oh, and I just noticed I have another iris bloom. But what I was going for to show you anyway is just right across over here where this is the hose, this green one that I've got to change, and I could not get those off this morning, but my husband was able to. So I'm going to try to change out this hose because it is just, it's one of the light hoses. I thought that would be fine for just poking holes in, but it's not. And you can see I have tried to fix it everywhere, and yet they keep springing up in other places where it has geysers. So this little hose has got to go, and I'm going to put that other red hose that you may have been noticing as I go around. I'm going to put it in its place. It's a medium heavy duty, and I'm going to try it and see if it will work for me. So it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and I did not even try to tackle this. It took me forever to work with the water hose, and I don't know if I've got it still fixed where it'll work for me. But at least it's to a point where I can give it a try. And I put some things in 3 little pots, and this is one of them. I decided it needed something in it so that the pretty little Josie lilac behind it could stand out a little bit more without you looking and saying, well, there's another pot that needs filling, but there's plenty of those around. I also did not get any seeds planted, but my husband planted a few little radish seeds in this little area where it's bare. And I wanted to show you that my blue flax that I planted last year is blooming. It usually only blooms in the morning and then closes up and blooms the next morning, but I think it's because it's been cloudy today. We're supposed to have some rain tonight and the next day, up into the next day. So hopefully we get that rain, because you know how the flowers in the spring love the rain, or practically any time. But I wanted to get so much done today, and it feels like I got so little done. But I did go to the grocery store. I did call and visit with my mother over the phone. And I did get a little bit done in the garden. There's plenty more that needs to be done, though. Maybe tomorrow. The other 2 little pots that I went ahead and put some plants in are this one and back here, and I'll walk over there for you so you can see it better. But it's this little top one of this. I wanted to put some in it because the bottom part of it, which you can't see here either, I'll go closer, but the bottom part of this little tiered planter has some beautiful Japanese dinner plate iris in there if I ordered what I hope I ordered. And then I wanted to go ahead and fill out the top part. So if they do start blooming, I'm not sure how early the Japanese iris bloom, but I know the regular irises are beginning to bloom now. So I wanted to have something in this, and I think I maybe just put 3 little double petunias in there, which can be very pretty, and I hope they do turn out to be in this one. I think I did put a small Yes, a Dusty Miller on the back side of it, which will grow and kind of hopefully spread out there a little. If not, you'll see it from the back side, because that pretty blue-green color just looks great with any other color and makes the other plants stand out more. I planted a clematis on this little trellis, which I had planted one last year, but it did not grow. I saw no sign of it, but when I dug up the earth to put my new clematis there, I did find some root. So I put the root back down, and hopefully I'll have 2 different colors come up on this little trellis. This, of course, is the bridal spirea, looking great. I love how it cascades down like that. And I have an iris bloom in the back that's also blooming, and some that are thinking about it, or beginning to actually. And I found a new little angel to sit in this little pot. The little bird that I had in it was dilapidated to the point it's time to let it go. I'm also seeing a sweet little clematis bloom. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel.